Hey my friends, this is Daniel Alley, and today I want to talk with you about 7 reasons why underrated people win in life. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to do to become exactly who you need to be. But before I begin, I want to let you know that I grew up as a very underrated person. I was overlooked at almost every single job I took. I was a failure in school. I was overlooked by my family. And I was underrated by almost every single person that I met. But I want to tell you that being underrated doesn't mean that you won't accomplish anything. In fact, what it means is that people haven't been able to see your value. And no one's opinion of you can become your reality. And if you want to make a change, then it all starts with your mentality. So in this video, I'm going to give you 7 reasons why underrated people win. And if you feel underrated, well then this is a bonus for you. So here I come. The first reason why underrated people win is because they know how to recruit. Basically what I'm saying is that they know how to look for other underrated people. If you are someone that's been underrated your whole entire life, then you're going to be able to see other people that are underrated and know that they have something to contribute. Now, if you've never been underrated, then you're not going to know where to look because you've been overlooking people your whole entire life. You don't know that you can pull up the rock and find someone under the rock that's been hiding there for so many years. You're not going to see them because you've never been in that situation. But if you are someone who have been overlooked, who has been underrated, then you are going to know that you can look through any nook and cranny. You can search in places that most people are not going to find talent. And your recruiting skills will be one of the greatest values that you can add to society. Because you're going to find people in all different places, in all different spaces, with all different faces, from all different races. And if you can see people where they are right now and know what they can become, then that's the number 1 reason you will succeed, even if you're underrated. The second reason why underrated people win in life is because they know what it feels like to lose. They know what it feels like to be cheated, to be deceived, to be lied to. Look, there's been so many times where I've seen politics happening right before my eyes, and I couldn't believe that it was happening in this way in real time. And it was happening right there. And I knew that what was happening right before me wasn't real. I knew that this wasn't real life. This is not what actually happens. I was just in a situation that I can learn from. I was just in a place that I could observe. Once I was able to see that vision from the past, I was able to use it in the present and take it to where I want it to be in the future. If you've been overlooked, you know exactly what I mean. I'm sure you've been passed over by certain people who thought they were better than you. Maybe you've been underrated. You weren't picked on a team that you should have been on. Maybe you weren't chosen by the person that you were dating because someone else is better looking. Maybe you've been cheated, manipulated, or deceived by those people at that time because you didn't know better. But that situation made you understand exactly what you need to do to position yourself into who you need to be. And that's what failure can do. When you're broken and you're lost and you're hopeless and you've been in despair for so many years, that failure allows you to become so much more. It shows you where you need to improve, and it gives you hunger that most people just don't have. This actually leads us into a third reason. Because a third reason why people who are underrated win in life is because they can see different ideas. They can see new avenues, different paths, different opportunities that other people cannot see. Not only can they see people and places, they can see things that don't even exist. Things that are to be manifested. They might not be in existence now, but they will be in existence in the future. It could be a plot of land. It could be a business venture. It could be an online endeavor. Whatever it is, the person who's been underrated and overlooked their whole entire life can see the invisible and do the impossible. They have faith within themselves because they have taken so many losses in their life. And through those defeating times, they've recovered. They've become fortified because the wisdom that they extracted from those circumstances made them better. It allowed them to see more than what they were seeing before. It allowed them to rekindle the flame within to know that they can't ever give up because things will change for the better. You see, when you've been overlooked and underrated for so long, you know things are going to be better in the end because you see how far you've come. You know that you were in a deficit for so long and you were creeping up, and eventually here you are. So you can see the vision of all the things you need to do and all the goals you have to pursue, and you could look back and see, wow, what a past. I came from that, now I'm here, and I have to go over there? Of course you're going to be happy. Of course you're going to see visions. Of course you're going to have new ideas. Of course you're going to accept truth faster than people who were never even exposed to it. Because a lot of times the people who were overrated were deluded. They thought they were the best player in the team. And then finally they went on to a higher level and they were defeated and crushed. And they didn't know how to respond. And they never recovered. Or maybe someone was promoted to a position that they never even belonged to in the first place. They got there, they see what it is, they realize they don't fit, and all of a sudden, their world comes crashing down. Maybe someone gets lucky in life. Maybe they were born into a rich family, or maybe something good happened to them early on, and they've taken it for granted because they're so used to it. Next thing you know, someone else who comes down from the gutter is so hungry that they catch up to that person, and then eventually passes them. Since that person has been privileged for so long, they don't know how to react. They haven't learned the lessons, and so therefore, they cannot receive the blessings. But the person who came from the bottom learned those lessons. They saw the truth. They saw what they needed to do, and they worked on themselves harder than everything else. And they eventually came to this realization of what they need to do to reach that greater level. So if you feel like you're that kind of person, then you're going to be able to see new ideas. You're going to be able to reach a greater destination because of the person that you became in the process of losing. Eventually, if you take enough losses and you learn your lessons, you're going to become a winner. That's how it always works. The fourth reason why underrated people always win is because they work on their talents. Now, if someone has a talent and they've never been underrated, then they're not going to know that their talent can be improved. But if you came from a place like I came from and you were always overlooked, no matter what, then you're going to know that you were called a loser. You're going to know that you were called annoying. You're going to know that you're dealing with deep pains, sometimes even scars. And that hunger that you have within you is going to come out. As you're an adult, you're going to be forced to feed yourself the truth. You're going to be forced to identify your talent. You're going to be forced to lock yourself up in this mindset that you know that anything you do is going to succeed no matter what. And you are going to be totally convinced that you have everything required to get to the goals that you desire. You're going to know that you have everything you need in order to succeed. So even if you come up and you don't have that much money, or you're in a foreign country that isn't too rich, you're going to know that you have a talent that no one else can take. That God gave you something that no other man can break. You're going to work on that with so much humility, with so much honor, with so much wisdom, that nothing in the world is going to stop you from reaching the highest echelons of success. Because you believe in yourself. You believe in your dream. You believe in the person that you're going to be. This leads us to number 5, because the fifth reason why underrated people succeed is because they know that they're not entitled to success. They know how much work they have to do. They know the hours that they have to put in. They don't just talk about it, they actually become it. I always hear people saying, oh, you gotta give 10,000 hours if you want to be great. A lot of people say that, but how many people actually do that? You see, in this world, we have people that talk, and then we have people that actually walk. So which one are you? Are you someone that's just talking about the things that you have to do, and the places you're gonna go, and the things you're gonna achieve? Or you're someone that's actually working on it every single day? You know, I personally see all these people bragging about all the things they're gonna do, all the places they're gonna go, and who they're gonna become, and this monumental goal that they set. But I know that most people who talk about these things never actually come around to doing it. Because the universe is set up in such a way where every single person in this world has adversities that they have to face on every level that they reach. And if that person can't get past a certain level of adversity, then there's no way that they're going to get promoted. There's no way that they're going to reach the next level. Because here's the truth. When you reach new levels, you face new devils. You face new obstacles. You face different barriers that you didn't see at a lower level. And the reason why underrated people win is because they've dealt with it at the lowest level. They saw the suffering. They saw the gluttony. They saw the greed, the violence, and they overcame that. And then they reached the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level, and then they kept going. And that's why underrated people win, because they have perpetual success. But someone who just started at the top or started at a high level can't see that. They've always been winning. They've always had money. They've always had some form of success that was usually given to them by their parents. And so they cannot understand what it takes to build that level of foundation. But when you have the right foundation, you can build the right relation. You can understand how things actually work, and you don't have to feel entitled to success because you know what it takes to actually achieve it. And that's why you're able to do the work and get the results in the end. The sixth reason why underrated people always win is because they don't take anything for granted. They're thankful. They're grateful for who they are right now and all the things that they've been through. I know I've been talking about this for a while now, but when I'm talking about gratitude, I'm talking about real gratitude. Like for me, I live in a multi-million-dollar house. My neighbors don't appreciate the house and the neighborhood as much as I do. They can't see the bushes and the trees and the grass in the same way that I can. They don't appreciate the landscaper and the gardener and the mailman and all the people that work in our community as much as I appreciate them. You know, the truth is that sometimes they complain. Sometimes they're like, oh, you know, they didn't deliver the mail on time, or the trash man didn't get all my trash, or the landscaper charges too much. I'm like, yo, I appreciate that that person is willing to cut my lawn. I appreciate that I even have lawn to cut. I appreciate the fact that someone can work on my house, that someone can help me run errands, that I have a chef that can cook for me every single day. Those are things that I never grew up with. Those are things that I couldn't even imagine when I was a child. You know, when I was a kid, I was living in a basement filled with roaches and rats. I couldn't even look outside. My parents were never home because they were working like a slave to get us to the next place in our life. They didn't understand how money worked, and that gave me a hunger. Growing up, I knew that when they said that they couldn't afford it, I wanted to afford it one day. I didn't know how I was gonna get there, but I knew that if I was thankful enough for what I had in the moment, that will help me to prepare for who I need to become in the future. And that's all I'm saying, my friends. When you are grateful, when you're thankful, you look within. You don't look outside and wonder why it's not there and why it doesn't exist. You make a way. You find the opportunities and you jump on it when it presents itself. And that's the difference between people who are underrated and people who are overrated. Overrated people, they've been in the neighborhood already. They know what it's like to have money. They know what it's been like because it's been given to them. But those who have never had it had to earn it. They had to deserve it. They had to work for it. They had to become it. And that's why underrated people always win. And the seventh and final reason I want to give to you today is that people who are underrated and overlooked are fearless. They know that they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. People ask me all the time, Daniel, if you lost your money, your fame, your opportunities, if you lost everything, assuming that you still had your health, could you get it back? The answer is absolutely yes. Because not only would I get it back, but I will get far more than I ever lost. Because I know what it takes to get to where I'm at right now. And I know what it takes to get to where I want to be in the future. You see, when you've been underrated your whole entire life, you're fearless because you're not afraid to get in a fight. You're not afraid to deal with conflicts that you've always had from the past. You're not afraid to cry. You're not afraid to laugh. You're not afraid to go through situations that will help you to become a better person in the end. Because you've been there. You've done that. You've lost it all and you can come right back. Fearlessness is one of the greatest attributes of success. When it's time to take a leap of faith, I see a lot of people stumbling, staggering, wondering what could be on the other side. Deep down, they already know that success is on the other side, but they're not willing to cross that bridge because they're afraid. They've always had the good, and so they're afraid to give up the good for the great. They know greatness is calling their name, but they've never been overlooked. They've never been underrated. So they're happy with the people that accept them in their life. They're thankful for their family, their friends. They're good where they're at. They don't really need success. Success is daunting. Why would I want to achieve success when I'm good with where I'm at? This is not the mindset of someone who's underrated. Someone who's underrated says, you know what? I've been underrated for so long. I still feel underrated. I still want to achieve more. And so they say, that's what it looks like. Success is right there. And even though I'm good with where I'm at, I see greatness right before my eyes. And they do whatever it takes because of that fearlessness. You see, there's a difference between someone who makes $100,000 a year and someone who makes $1 million a year. There's also a big difference between someone who makes $1 million and 10 million. And every exponential leap that you take requires a whole different version of you. You have to do impossible things to get to the person that you know you can become. And you need to do more of it to get you there even faster. You need to hire more people, go to more places, have more conversations, face more failures, make more decisions than ever before. Plus, you got to invest your money. You got to give your time. You got to sacrifice your sleep. You have to do whatever it takes and let your foot off the brakes. Because when it comes to success, you have to dive in head first. You can't dip your toe in. You can't worry about getting your feet wet or take baby steps. Successful people take monumental steps because they're fearless in how they act. They know what they want and they're gonna get it because they have a mindset of success. My friends, this is Daniel Alley. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification button. Share this video with someone else who really needs it. And also, follow me on other social media platforms. I have so much more I want to share with you. If you've been underrated and overlooked your whole life, I hope this video has helped you. I feel good sharing it, and I hope you do too. My friends, this is Daniel Alley, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye-bye.